And you're going to bring up the chat?
Yep.
All
As soon as I get my pop-up that says it's live.
All right.
And there it is.
Get this more into the screen. Yes. Then we need to get this. Damn it. There's too much going on. Too much clutter.
Yeah.
There we go.
This would be off-screen Dave. The off-screen Dave hour. We got to fix the background so that it's not like quite so.
Mm-hmm. It's very busy. Plus, we have new decorations and new shit that's got to go up. It's too much stuff. I don't know how we're gonna deal with all this.
I don't know. It's awesome. There's plenty of room in here. Just need to start invading into other spaces.
Yeah, the only problem is you then won't be able to see it on the video.
This is true.
Yeah. Tom, what's up, man? Hey, let me know how I sound. Well, hell, let both of us know how we sound. Because last week, again, we had the audio issues with my audio, so if it sounds screwed up, please let us know, and let us know early before we actually start the show. And yes, Dave has something to talk about with the Triple Force Friday.
Word. Next weekend's not good because we got Kate's birthday stuff, but the weekend after. When's drill for October?
I have no idea. It's I want to say somewhere around the 20th.
Okay. I think we need to take an excursion, a live excursion to the IKEA and pick up some furniture for the background.
Yeah.
It's either that or I have wood and like angles for shelves.
Keep it to yourself, man. What? Nothing. Okay.
And we could just do like shelving units.
Okay, like straight attached to the wall, not even like
Yeah.
like a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I will be out of town from the 26th of October.
It's because I was far away.
From the 26th of October to 8th-ish of November.
Okay.
That's 2 episodes we would miss. So we should probably plan accordingly. Maybe pre-record a couple.
Yeah, we'll figure it out
in a couple of weeks. So just a heads up for you and anybody in the video who cares.
Still not using my graphic. I'm really irritated.
Oh. Can you email it to me?
Again?
Did you email it to me last time?
Yes. You're like, I don't have time for it.
To my Gmail? I don't think I said it like that.
I don't have time for it. I'll see what I can do. Here, I'll do this.
I was really drunk last time too, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. Hence one of the reasons why I'm drinking soda this week.
JC Roskin at Gmail.
C.
3PO.
Did it again.
That's in it.
Refresh.
You're not hitting refresh. You're hitting inbox.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing.
Is it?
All right. Well, while that's going, I got the notes up right there. You've got the chat up.
Yep. I've got the cantina up.
All right. I don't know why I even have my iPad. I guess I can reference my notes from here. Or the notes. I don't have my own personal notes.
I have some half-ass notes.
Good. You might be leading the charge this week. I did not have much time to do much research. Sorry, Don. But we'll do it live, as we always do.
As you would bear witness to if you would actually bring up the fucking graphic that I made.
Oh my God. There it is.
There, finally. God.
Be careful with this message. Dave Martin has never sent you messages using this email address.
You should be careful.
Looks safe. New logo. So, we're going to be messing with the new logo live on the air, so I'm sure this is going to look great.
I mean, we're live, but hey, hola Bermuda.
Tevin.
Like living in Bermuda, or are you?
I love Bermuda. Been there twice.
Yeah.
Took a cruise out there, and then we went once. Well, you weren't there.
I wasn't on that boondoggle.
Yeah, it was a boondoggle.
I know.
We broke in Bermuda for like 4 days.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of us were back at home, fucking. Yeah, it's not even a thing. Not a good day for me to go there. Okay, so there's that. Want to see it go up.
This is all, I'm sure, fucking just exhilarating.
This is the pre-show routine. We got things set up. Got a whiskey to open.
Oh, wait a minute. I fucked up. I took off the wrong thing because this is going to replace this. Whoops. All right. Again,
They make it that complicated? You can't just drag and drop it?
No, I could, but I got to get rid of this image first. Are you sure you want to remove ATSW logo? Yes. And then we got to shrink it down.
Yeah, just leave it like that. That's fine. Just completely cover up.
Like Mike Wazowski. Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. Face always gets covered up. And that's all fine and good, but now it's all like in that corner. I guess the Palpatine at the bottom actually looks pretty cool. Just in the black like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll leave it like that. See how it goes.
What about you could put that Podbelly logo back in on the other side.
But we got Podbelly on the fucking new logo.
It is our. We are.
This is so unprofessional. Well, I'll definitely put the Patreon back up.
Yeah. All right. Put the Patreon back up. We're representing Podbelly.
Yeah.
Since we don't do any other fucking servicing for the Podbelly network, they could be talking about us nonstop, and we just wouldn't know it.
That is true.
What am I drinking?
Your Coke, right?
I'm not used to having Diet Coke out of a glass.
Oh.
Like a civilized person.
Right.
Gotta make sure it's even, though.
I know.
God. Where'd I go? Oh, there I am.
How's that? Is that good?
Well, Sheev is like...
He's like right in the middle.
Well, yeah, slide him over then.
But we want...
Put him directly in the middle.
He was in the middle.
No, he was not.
Oh my God.
There's the line right there.
I think I have more space than you, though. Fuck it. You know what?
That's fine. That is fine. Why would you think that?
I don't know.
He's got a line drawn directly through the middle of his face. Look, see, watch, look at my face. See how it's on two screens like that? Whoa, there's the line.
It's good stuff. Hello there, Scott.
Today's stream, we are...
Talking about Palpatine.
Yeah, not history, but just basically...
I wrote the life and times of Emperor Palpatine. But
there you go.
Really, we're going to talk about his character in canon versus like what happened with him in Legends.
Right.
How a lot of this is going to tie into Rise of Skywalker. Because ultimately, a lot of our discussions are going to go to, his return in Rise of Skywalker. And
listen, yeah, all that stuff that he said. And Tom, no, that tank top is perfectly fine sitting on Vader. Does not need to go on his body. Fact is, I'm sure he took it off and put it right on Vader too. So it's probably not even washed. There might be a funk in here that I'm just not picking up because I'm used to it. But yeah,
perhaps
I'm nose blind to Jason's tank top.
Drink the water out of this.
Why?
Because I want to be able to taste the whiskey and not have it watered down.
Okay. I don't know. You do you.
All right. So you about ready to start here? This is...
Let me
This-
remember my thing.
Your toast?
Yes.
Football related, maybe?
Yes, my toast.
I'll keep the old version.
Excellent.
All right.
That Palpatine does look good like that.
Yeah.
Got the Podbelly logo. I like that. Over there with the Sidebar Cantina. I'm stoked. I really like how that came out.
All right. Jason needs to put... Oh. And sound is good still? One last sound check.
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 Yeah, looks good.
All right. Audio is recording. All right. And then your toast. And are you going to flow right into the Podbelly?
The Podbelly deal.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
If I can remember the scripted answers for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to get the Patreon thing up. There we go. All right. Stopwatch. We good?
Yep.
All right. 30 seconds of silence starting now.
To an excellent football weekend in the eyes of the Dave.
Yes, to an excellent football weekend. And hey, the 49ers are still undefeated. So,
It's amazing.
yes.
It's absolutely amazing.
And yeah, good weekend for you. I watched your game on Thursday night. That was a hell of a show.
It was a hell of a show. I didn't need that much show, honestly.
Right.
My
Yeah,
No,
your
no,
blood pressure and your heart can't take
yeah, I
it.
don't know. I'm still recovering from that, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine,
Oh.
Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am here and raring to do Star Wars stuff.
Yes.
And it sounds sarcastic, but I'm actually being serious. I've had an absolute shit day, mentally and physically, and I am ready to do something fun.
Yes, I agree.
Come along with us as we do something fun. I don't know what this was. I don't know. Can you
Like
even
Rich
see
James.
that on the
Give
thing?
it to me, girl.
The dread swelling.
So what are we talking about this week?
So this is first let's talk about the Podbelly.
Yes,
And
let's
we
do that.
are a proud member of the Podbelly Network.
See.
If you 3PO. And if you want to see all of the podcasts that are part of the Podbelly Network, go to podbelly.com or look for Podbelly on Instagram and Facebook and all that good shit. There's a delay, and I just saw the live YouTube feedback of me doing the Rick James thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, go to podbelly.com. All Things Star Wars podcast is right there on the top row.
Yeah, until somebody else comes up with something alphabetically that's before AL,
And
then we're set.
And then we'll abbreviate so that it will definitely be ahead of that
Yeah.
one too. Or we'll put like a 1 dot in front of
Yeah.
your name.
Or just AAL Star
Yeah.
Wars.
You done fucked up, Ron.
Yeah.
But the question.
What are we talking about this week?
Oh, it's the listener or Patreon supporter Don Solsky. This is his topic
Yes.
this week, and it is a history of Palpatine.
Yeah.
And we've decided. I forget what. Let me look at the original text that had his stuff in it,
Oh, yeah.
because I think it's important to try and be as consistent as possible with our loyal Patreon supporters. And their ideas. We are not paying lip service to that. Again, I feel like I'm sounding sarcastic. I'm not, and I don't mean to be.
That's just how you sound naturally.
It's just, yeah, exactly. The history of Sheev Palpatine, the finer points, of course, both canon and legends, and how you think his efforts have and will shape the end of the Skywalker saga. So that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the legends. We're going to talk about the canon, how the two things intersect, perhaps. And what we think the Palpatine of Episode 9 is going to bring us.
Yes, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of thoughts and theories into that. But first, before we get started, we have a few business notes to take care of.
gonna take care of that first, or that first?
We're gonna take care of this first.
I like that idea.
So, a friend of mine, Tom, got this for me. A friend of mine who I know through a good friend of mine, Rachel, who you've met her. He got me this whiskey in Tennessee. This is Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Now, she made a point to tell us to smell it before we drink it. And then she said the second drink tastes about how it smells. I have no idea what to expect with this. I've never heard of peanut butter whiskey, so we're doing this live. She just dropped this off today, and I'm like, fuck it, we'll do it on the podcast.
Oh, and note that we're using our glasses from the 100th episode.
Yes.
And just so happens, this is episode 120.
Yes.
Which when I was typing out to start the notes, I was like, holy shit.
So we're
120 fucking episodes.
We're a fifth of the way to 200.
Sure.
Yes.
Math.
That is how that works.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm going to crack the seal on this motherfucker.
Well, he's cracking that.
And smell it.
Big Swede fucking had me watch this video today, which has probably been out forever, but it was a teacher demonstrating Common Core math. It was like 30 times 12 or some shit like that.
Jesus.
And basically the person on the other end solved the problem like you should, right? And then went and made coffee, let the dog out, came back in, poured a cup of coffee, and by the time he was done all of that, she was just finishing solving the fucking Common Core math. What fucking ridiculousness is that? I mean, honestly.
Oh,
I want to know where, like, in Calculus 2, where am I drawing a fucking box to help me solve this fucking equation?
I have no idea.
It doesn't help you with advanced math.
No.
If anything, it dumbs kids down to a point where they don't understand how to take this math into advanced. Like, you don't solve physics equations with fucking boxes making fence posts and shit.
No, they assume that you know the basics, like how to quickly multiply and
the
fucking divide.
The multiplication table!
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, how hard is it to memorize a multiplication table? We're half retarded. We fucking did it as kids.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, I'm coming from the New Jersey public schools, which are supposedly pretty good. You're coming from California.
Bakersfield, of all places.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And yet we can understand, we can apply math into real life in our fucking jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm never drawing a fucking box to solve a simple equation.
Nope.
And 2 semesters of different levels of calculus and physics and everything else, I've never fucking once drew a goddamn box to solve anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, I noticed this when my oldest son was, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, some shit like this, and he needed help with his homework. And I'm looking at the instructions, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Same thing.
And I'm trying to show him my way, and he's like, that's not how we're supposed to do it. We're supposed to do it this way. And then I don't know how the fuck to do it that way. So.
Well, Nick was the same way. We were talking, he showed me today. He was like, I can't. As soon as you start trying to draw this fucking box and with slashes and shit like that, when Jeff was doing it, I was like, I can't. I don't break it down like that. It's just, you look at a problem, a multiplication problem, regardless how many digits it is, and you say, boom, 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 and you carry the fucking numbers, move it over, and you're done.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
It's all for standardized testing. That's what it is. It's, you bring it to the lowest common denominator, and then that's what you maintain so that everyone can do well on standardized testing, so that school systems can get the funding.
Yeah, which is fucking.
We should probably
shit.
stop talking about that, but
yeah, I know, because then we
fucking
can get into
hell,
this
this
whole,
Common Core shit, it's
like political fucking road that we don't want to go down. All right,
stop dumbing down our children.
So I'm gonna crack the seal on this again. Rachel and Tom, thank you. We'll smell it, then we'll pour it and have a couple of drinks.
I'm watching his face.
Man, okay, give it a sniff.
It smells like peanut butter.
Yeah. So all right. So we're gonna pour a little bit, take a couple of sips.
That's weird.
It is weird. Drip, 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 drip. Go, don't spill it.
Right on my laptop.
Yeah, why not? All right. And oh my god.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What the fuck?
It's tasty.
It is. It actually, it's got a real sweet tint to it, but you can taste the peanut butter.
It's real smooth too.
It is.
It's kind of disturbing.
That's
I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for the other foot to drop.
All right. One more sip. My God,
That's
is
scary good.
That's actually really good.
That's scary. I was not anticipating that. I was anticipating that to fucking smell like dog ass and taste like it too.
And then like go off camera and just spit it out, but like holy shit. That's fucking crazy. So yes. Screwball peanut butter whiskey from Tennessee.
Let me see the bottle again.
Thanks, Tom and Rachel. Wow. Man, so all right, we'll be sipping this for the rest of the evening. In addition to our normal drinks. So,
Screwball to the Misfits, Black Sheep, and Screwballs. Indeed.
Yeah. All right, now getting to the Patreon business. So, we had a new patron sign up this week, and that would be Nick Jackson. Nick, thank you so much.
Action Jackson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're not in the private Facebook
this
group,
one's for you.
Get in there because I do not recognize your name. But thank you, Nick. So, and again, thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. Frederick Martin, Tactical Swede, Big Lovin', Camille Donovan, Scott Rasmussen, Frank Kulovich, Don Solsky.
Brady Lovin', did you already say?
Yeah, and I think that's everybody. Oh, and Shotgun Mark.
Shotgun Mark.
Sorry, Mark. Oh, man, our number one guy, and we forgot him.
You're an asshole.
So, yeah, whatever. At least I'm keeping track of this shit. So, thank you, everybody. We really, really appreciate it. You guys are the best.
You guys are the best.
And I need everybody's address. So, all of you patrons out there, I don't care if you're a $1 giver, all the way up to the highest tier, please somehow get me your mailing address because we have things to send you.
Yeah, DM.
Yes. Be it Facebook, Instagram, all of our links are in the show description. So if you're not on any of those social medias, you can also email us. But we need your mailing addresses because we have stuff for you. So please do that.
Yes.
And you will do it.
And you will do it.
All right. So that's everything. We going to head right into our weeks, or do you want to talk about the Triple Force Friday thing to do?
Whoa. Didn't I have it in the notes as doing our weeks, then do Triple Force Friday?
That is exactly what you had, but it just seemed weird because when I do the notes, it's normally the news and then our week.
Who says that your way is the better way?
Nobody, but it's just the way we've always done it.
Oh my
and
God.
if I've learned anything in the Air Force, it's the way we've always done it is always the right way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's the first time every time.
Right.
Whenever we do anything in a fucking Air Force.
So, all right, so we'll just get into our weeks then. We'll do it Dave's way this week.
I don't
we'll
care.
see
I'm ready to go.
Whatever
Let's talk about Triple Force Friday.
All right, do it.
So, I actually watched I happened to be on the computer, and the pop-up came up for, hey, Star Wars is going live.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it, and I watched the whole presentation. Now, I know some of you were watching at the same time. I put some stuff in the Facebook group. It's so cheeky. Like, they did the whole thing, oh, we're at Pinewood Studios and blah, blah, blah. And they had Warwick Davis. Wicket, yeah.
Warwick Davis.
It didn't sound right when I was saying it in my head.
Yeah, the little guy.
Yeah, little guy, giant face. He's leading off the whole thing, and you can tell he's reading off kind of the teleprompter, and it was very cheeky, and they had like a live studio audience of about 24 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they panned back, it looked like an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, right?
Right.
So they're doing their thing, and they had they kind of did cut scenes to Knuckle Nuts from the fucking Star Wars show. I can't think of his
guy.
The guy.
The one that's not the chick.
Yeah, the anti-female. Right.
Well,
allegedly.
That's
allegedly. So
that's debatable, but
that's fucking West Coasters. So they did like cut shots back and forth to actually demonstrate some of the toys, because obviously the toys are one of the biggest things for Force Friday, and this one happens to be Triple Force Friday. Da, da, da. So the stuff they showed in the video, they had, Daisy Ridley, for example, like she came out and they brought out her Black Series figure,
the
newest one.
Yeah.
And first of all, Daisy's so fucking cute. Yeah, and she was all Daisy Ridley and up, and she's looking at her face and like how much it looks like her. I mean, the one thing about the Black Series figures. The detail work is so fucking good, and it's just continuing to get better.
Yeah.
So they had her. They had fucking Tits McGee with I don't know. They had Carrie Russell and fucking
Kelly Marie Tran was there.
Yes,
right?
Who's stacked?
Yeah,
she's stacked.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really appreciate it, like costuming and whatever, but yeah, she look. Hey,
she's doing well for herself.
She
say
looks good. She looks good.
Yeah,
good on her. Anyway, so we're not here to talk about Star Wars tits. We're here to talk about Star Wars
That's
toys.
We should make an episode of that, though. We can rank
Star Wars tits. I thought we did that. Did we not do that?
No, we did. We did like the top 5 hottest chicks.
Okay.
But now we can just do like the top 5 best racks in Star Wars.
Interesting. Somebody write that down.
Yes.
Which, by the way, remind me later. I had somebody had mentioned something that was going to be a good episode. I put it in my phone.
Oh, new good episode title?
Yeah, or just a good episode, a good topic. Anyway, so I went through a bunch of the toys. The highlight of the whole thing for me had to be the Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of pop figures. I actually have the checklist here in front of me for like all the stuff that came out.
Yeah, he sent me a text message midway through the stream, and it's like, so many new pop figures.
Dude, the pops are strong with this one. It is going to be very, very good. I've actually got Big Swede because I'm not going to be in the work area on Friday, but apparently the GameStop on base is going to be putting out some stuff on Friday. So he's going to go over there and try and get the Mandalorian pop. And if he does, he's going to get 2 and get one for me because I covet that.
Nice.
That is going to be a good one.
I want the Black Series figure.
The Black Series figure too. It's a must have. I mean, I have the Boba Fett. I need to have the Mandalorian. So that honestly, the Mandalorian. I like the pop figures anyway. There was some Lego stuff that's coming out. Another Millennium Falcon is
yet another released. Millennium Falcon Lego.
It's not a giant one. It's more of a a mid-tier size that'll probably still be pretty intricate,
like $200 as opposed to like $700 kind of deal.
I'll just go through the checklist real quick, and you can get this off Entertainment Earth, whatever. Just Google Triple Force Friday checklist.
That's the place where I got the Black Series Clone Trooper, the 4 Clone Trooper set for like dirt cheap.
Nice.
Was that Empire Earth?
Huh?
Right, Empire Earth.
Entertainment.
Entertainment, whatever. You know what I mean. Empire Earth is a video game, but you get the idea.
All right, so there's like Beeline, BioWorld has some stuff.
Bees, Bears.
Yeah. DK Publishing. Oh, that is something that came out during that. Before I get into the toys, there is going to be another book that's coming out. That's the lead-in
the Resistance one.
Yeah. So where did I have that in the? Actually, probably the best way for me to do this is to go back and show the ones. Oh yeah, here's this. Hang on. Truncated silence. You know what? Fuck it. It's not coming up.
I like how you said truncated silence in the middle of just making constant noise.
So here's my notes. This is the stuff that seemed important to me. Ready? Daisy is cute as hell. So there's going to be an Xbox One exclusive for Jedi Fallen Order.
Which, by the way, they have pictures of that online. There's no fucking special console. It's just a black or a white Xbox One with the fucking game bundled in. There's no, like, art on the fucking Xbox, kind of like what they did with the PS4 with the Battlefront. It's like, come on, if you're going to do it, put forth a little fucking effort. And just put a goddamn sticker on the top of the console or something with the fucking Jedi logo. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy, Microsoft.
I'm not going to buy a console just based on that.
Me either.
Otherwise,
I already have one.
Yeah, because you own the fucking PS4 that came out like that, and I didn't fall for their trickery. So, but there is a new Xbox One controller that's coming out. This actually looks really, really sweet.
Oh, it is like special colored.
It's a special color. It's got like it's black with the red like designs on it. Like it's very cool. I don't have a picture of it.
I like that.
So the new book, Star Wars Resistance Reborn, that's coming out November 5th. I've already pre-ordered it, so I anticipate us getting into that because it's really going to be a good lead-in for. We should
like by November 5th, we're going to be like
right. So by November 5th, I can anticipate us getting the book, going over it, doing it on the pod just in time for Mandalorian to start on November 12th.
Which, by the
and
way,
also Jedi Fallen Order coming out. So we're gonna have a lot of material.
yeah. Which, by the way, that's the last 3 days of my vacation or vacation. No, my being out of town, not a vacation. Because I get back November 8th
Okay.
from that trip, so it comes out on the 5th. That gives me 3 days away from home to fucking read that thing.
Yeah,
in
just
my
plow
off time.
through it.
Yeah.
So let's see, what do I got? Tran has some big old biddies. There's another Lego Falcon. So many new pop figures. So Black Series 3PO was interesting to me because it has Chewbacca's bandolier and is holding his crossbow.
Which we saw that in
With
one
the
of the
bowcaster.
early leaked posters from before Celebration. This was leaked like 2 or 3 days before. It was C-3PO with the fucking...
With the bandolier.
Yeah, the bandolier and the fucking crossbow. It's like, what is this? And we still have no idea how the fuck that happened.
There's no context to it, right? Because they had Anthony Daniels with the Chewbacca, the new Chewbacca.
That Swedish guy?
Yeah, the Penn State grad, whatever. Anyway, so they talked about it a little bit there, and the whole thing, they're trying to play it a little bit, like, oh, can you tell us something? Like, no, they're not saying shit.
Yeah.
So,
like, would you really expect them to say anything?
no,
honestly?
absolutely not. So from the pop series, here's a list. I'm just going to say the list.
Okay.
We got Rise of Skywalker. They're all Rise of Skywalker unless they say otherwise. You got a Sith Jet Trooper pop. You have the Rey
Sith
pop.
Jet Trooper.
Yeah.
So this is in addition to the Sith Trooper that we saw.
Yes.
This is something else. Is
Sith
he red?
Jet Trooper. I forget.
Or is this just a list? Okay.
This is just a list. There's no
Okay.
pictures. There's a new Rey pop. Janna, whoever that is. I can't put that with a name. There's a new Finn. Who gives a shit? Another BB-8. Kylo Ren pop actually looks pretty cool because it's got the cracks in the mask.
Nice.
There's a new Rose pop. Again, she's in her outfit or whatever. As long as she's got those big ass titties. There's a Zori Bliss pop.
That's Kerry Russell.
Right. Which that's actually pretty cool too because it's not like her. It's the helmet.
Right.
Like,
Because
honestly-
she's like a bounty hunter or some shit.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know that we'll ever see Carrie Russell's face in this fucking movie.
We might not.
And which is a shame because she looks good, but she's part of the Star Wars universe, and people are going to know her from it's basically her shapely figure and a fucking helmet.
Yeah.
And so you got her. You got a Lando pop, which is pretty cool. They had Billy D. Williams like as one of the people, and he's looking at his figure, and he's like, "Oh, hey," and he's doing the Lando thing.
And what
Right.
would Lando say at a time like this?
It's a dynamite taste.
All right.
Tastes like peanut butter.
But it's so good though.
It is good. Hit your lips. So Lando, we got a First Order Jet Trooper pop. So this is a different pop than the Sith Jet Trooper.
Right. And that we already talked about that in a previous episode.
Right.
We don't have to rehash that.
So we got Lieutenant Connix as a pop. No idea. Kylo Ren and TIE Whisper Deluxe pop. So it's probably I have the TIE Fighter in a TIE pop. It's like kind of him sitting on the top.
And his is like the attack
it's
one.
The TIE Whisper.
Yeah.
Tread Speeder pop. They got a Dio pop. Bunch of stuff with the Dio character, right?
Yeah, they're really pushing him the way they were pushing BB-8 with Force Awakens.
Listen, I'll tell you what, man. They had the interactive Dio, like how the BB-8 you could like fucking roll around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I had it. I still have it. So you can drive it like with your
phone.
Yeah, using your phone.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Dio, except it's a fucking wheel. So it's a wheel counterbalanced with the fucking thing on the head. So the fact that all right, a ball, you kind of figure it out from an engineering standpoint. Like, okay, they kind of do this and
But
use
with
magnets
a
and
more
shit.
narrow wheel.
This is a wheel that this fucking thing is on, and it's rolling back and forth, and it has these like protrusions out the back, like antenna, that actually are animated. So they'll do this.
Jesus.
They'll like squeeze and stuff. Really, really cool looking.
Huh.
So that was a cool toy. So yeah, Dio pop, and there's the Mandalorian pop. They're Mandalorian
Chuli's gum?
Chuli Kuiil. There's an IG-11 pop, a Cara Dune pop, which I know a lot of people are really looking forward to her character.
And in the chat, Bronco Fett confirmed the Sith Jet Trooper is red.
Thank you, Bronco Fett. Then you got the Rise of Skywalker Dio, Kylo Ren. That's a tiki mug. What? I already looked at that page. Oh, I'm zooming. I'm hitting zoom instead of like, why is it getting smaller?
What the fuck?
I am an idiot. In fairness to me, there's no arrows.
Okay.
So, and then Hasbro's got a whole list of shit out. You know, they got lightsabers and Nerf guns.
Oh yeah.
So this is the fucking this windfall of fucking shit that we've been expecting for so long, and it's finally happening on Triple Force Friday.
And that's this coming Friday.
This coming Friday, October 4th.
Wow.
So good stuff in here. You got some Microforce things. You got the Black Series figures. Okay, so you got a Black Series Supreme Leader Kylo Ren action figure, which we saw a leaked picture of. We talked about that.
Yep.
Black Series Rey and Dio, Black Series Sith Trooper.
Yeah,
can't talk
seen all
today.
these.
Black Series Mando.
Yep, saw that.
Black Series Cal Kestis.
Yep.
Black Series Second Sister Inquisitor, which actually looks really cool.
Yeah,
Nick
she
and I
looks
were
badass. Like, oh, we didn't even talk about the new trailer for fucking Fallen Order either, that came out this last week. We didn't put that in the notes.
We did not.
Yeah,
That's true.
Which,
and you know why? Because they did leading into the video that they posted.
Mhm.
They put like, oh, here's the new trailer, and I had actually watched it that morning.
Right.
So it's just kind of a rehash of the thing. Let me get through this list, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Mandalorian, Cal Kestis, Second Sister Inquisitor, First Order Stormtrooper action figure, and Off-World Jawa action figure.
Which is the gray Jawa.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it looks neat. Don't get me wrong, but we have again no context for.
There's vintage stuff, Galaxy Adventure shit, blah 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 blah. There's a Chewbacca edition Bop It game.
Oh my god! First of all, I love Bop It. By the way, Bop It, twist it, twirl it, pull it. I can only imagine.
Punt it, because fuck that thing.
Well,
that thing would make fucking noise in the kid's toy box. You'd be dead asleep. It's 3 in the fucking morning. All of a sudden you hear, twist it. Turn it.
Like fuck.
What the fuck is happening?
No, but I'm like, is it gonna be just Chewbacca roaring going? I mean, I've got to at least try it once. Like, hopefully they have a demo in the store.
Oh, we gotta. Yeah, well, that would be great if we could like go roll into a Target or something and just start fucking with all this. New shit.
I know, right?
There's another Star Wars Saga Edition Monopoly game. There seems to be one every year. Anyway, tons of cool shit. Lego.
Oh god, I could only imagine.
So Star Wars Death Star canon, which is interesting. I haven't seen a picture of that yet. They got a Resistance A-Wing, a Resistance Y-Wing, which to me, this actually brings up something that maybe we can expand on later.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Resistance A-Wing and Y-Wing.
Yes.
You have this dredge of some of these older ships, right?
Right, which we were lacking in previous sequel movies.
You were thinking that, okay, with these A-Wings and Y-Wings, you wonder, like, these... The way that they're coming back, and so what's old is new again.
Right.
It makes you wonder who has joined the Resistance that would bring this particular, fighters and shit like that back into the fight.
Especially after watching Rebels, and we know how they got the Y-Wings, how they got the A-Wings. So that was a big part of that show,
right?
Was how they got these different aspects of their fleet into the rebellion.
But with the sequel trilogy, we've kind of gotten like, we talked about that in Rebels. In the sequel trilogy, we kind of like drift away from it a little bit,
right? Well, because this is post rebellion, so we have the X-wings that are there. We didn't really have much else in the way of spacecraft,
and the X-wings are even newer.
They're different, they got the different engines and everything else.
They somehow split the core of the fucking engine.
Yeah,
so
which that makes sense, right?
Yeah, sure it does. The combustion center, just cut it right in the middle.
So what I'm thinking is, like, are they going out to the boneyard and they're like, fuck, we're like down to like 5 ships.
Kicking tires on fucking shit in the boneyard. That'd be fucking hilarious. Like, if they go back to Tatooine, and Tatooine's a giant fucking, like, boneyard of fucking spacecraft.
Right, where they just parked them, after they retired them.
You got some, what the fuck was the Jewish sounding guy. What was?
Watto.
Watto, like that whole species.
No, Watto.
They're all kind of just hanging out in the boneyard, like just with all the ships and shit.
He's a Targaryen.
Targaryen, that's right. Anyway,
those tricks don't work on me. Only money. And this sort of anti-Semitic thing.
So Death Star cannon, Resistance A-wing, Y-wing, Pisana speeder. So they actually brought this out with Daisy, the Pisana speeder. It's basically in that first trailer release or whatever teaser trailer where they're having that battle sequence and they seem to be on this like fucking rickety sled thing. That's what this is.
Oh, okay.
And that planet is Pisana.
The desert planet.
Where that sequence happening.
Yeah.
You know when they pan back and there's like that celebration going on? That's a
Right.
celebration!
Yeah.
Well, that's that planet.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Planet Arizona kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. During spring break.
Right.
With all the celebrating.
Right, but it's like a lot of dirt, a lot of rocky
and a bunch of tits.
Uh,
So they got an ATST Raider, which is actually pretty cool looking. It's an ATST but with like a paint job on it.
Yeah.
So it's that one's cool.
Nice.
There's Star Wars Yoda. Again, we're talking about Legos. Kylo Ren shuttle and another little Millennium Falcon. So anyway, there's a handful of other stuff. Get on whatever website you tend to follow for these things. Like I think I mentioned Entertainment Earth for this particular checklist.
Yes.
But go to I think there's going to be Target exclusives too. That seemed to be a popular Google search. Was like Triple Force Friday Target. In fact, let's do that right now, Jason.
Sure. We'll do it live.
Triple Force spacing. Jesus.
I said that today in front of the congressman's crew.
Do it live?
Yeah. I don't think I said fuck it, but I said, yeah, screw it. We'll do it live.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Triple Force Friday. Nah, there's just StarWars.com has the Triple Force Friday products if you're looking for the root of this. Oh, dude. I don't want to pick this thing up.
I can just walk over there.
Walk over here.
If you want to show
Look at these fucking things. So, Triple Force Friday. So Nick showed me these earlier.
Oh my god! I've been in the market for a dumb watch. Lately,
This is a non-smartwatch, and they've got this Empire one is the fucking tits.
Do I even want to know how much it is?
I don't think it says right here, but look at that. They got some good fucking watches, and look, it almost looks like it's in basic, or Gilgamesh, Arabish. And there's another one. It's got a Lands. It's his blue pants with a Corellian blood stripe on it.
Oh shit!
See, and then there's a Fett one.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So this is what the controller looks like. Yeah. So go to StarWars.com/news/Triple Force Friday products.
Oh my god!
You're going to see that controller.
That controller is mine.
Yeah.
Totally. I will buy that today.
Yeah. I just show up and take my money. It's so silly. It's so fucking silly how quickly. But anyway. Yeah, that was Triple Force Friday. There's so much good shit. That's not your money.
I'm doing it for the effect, asshole. I know. It will be my money come December.
Whatever. So anyway. That's Triple Force Friday. We'll get back to the Fallen Order. There was a trailer out that same day for the Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? Did you watch the trailer?
Yep.
Okay.
It's weird because the gameplay footage that it shows looks very God of War-ish. Like, do you ever play God of War at all on the PlayStation?
I've watched some videos of people playing it though.
Is that your weekly call from your daughter?
No, this is my wife actually.
Oh, okay.
She'll get mad if I put her on the podcast.
Typically, it's his daughter that calls midway through the show. And shout out to Big Lovin' who's in the chat.
What up, Big Lovin'? Where's your boy?
So, where is your boy? So, I watched the trailer. The gameplay looks very God of War-ish. I thought it was going to be a lot more closer to Force Unleashed, which we've talked about before, but I have a feeling it's going to be very combo-based, especially with some of these boss fights, where it's going to be like tapping a certain button at a certain point to get some fucking weird combo thing.
Force Unleashed was like that.
But they actually did do that too, so maybe same style of gameplay. But what really struck me was that Sith bitch, whatever you called her.
All right, she's calling back.
All right.
Hello.
Anyway, actually,
I'm doing a podcast.
We'll let Truncate Silence take the rest of this.
Oh, all right, Lucy, bye. Usually when they call twice, it's important. But
no, I understand.
Let me get my text. Sorry, folks.
Anyway,
Super professional here.
what was the name of that Sith bitch that we got the toys
it's
of?
the second sister.
Second sister. She looks bad fucking ass.
Yeah.
And she sounds like she's fucking mean too.
Listen,
so
I am fucking stoked to play this game.
Oh yeah.
I know we had posted something online, or there was a part of a thread that was already there in the cantina, where we were talking about. I forget. I think it was Isaac Sipe was saying his concern is that it's EA, and EA has disappointed us thoroughly with.
They
BF2.
disappointed gamers thoroughly throughout the years.
Yeah,
Not just Star Wars gamers.
yeah, but EA. I just think EA decided to go for a money grab with BF2, and it failed miserably. So now they're backpedaling.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I turned on BF2 not too long
Do you want to
ago.
save that until we get to our weeks? Because my first bullet point is Battlefront.
Okay, I'll probably forget by then.
All right.
The,
I'll try to remind you.
The big, I'm looking forward to the gameplay. I'm looking forward to the story. I think the solace that I take is the storyline in BF2 was good. With the Jaina, what's her tits, fucking the
Iden Versio?
Iden Versio. Oh, her actual name is like Jaina something.
Oh, probably.
I can't fucking talk today.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed playing a story. I enjoyed playing a storyline that I hadn't before.
Yeah, me too.
Involving characters that I'd never been involved with. So I think I'm looking forward to doing the same thing with this game.
Yeah.
I think my only problem that I foresee me having with this game is its playability multiple times.
Right. It feels like it's probably going to be a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a one-shot Johnny, and you're spending a lot of money for a one-shot game.
Right.
So that's a little disappointing, especially, and we'll talk about BF2 here in a second. With that being, it still seems like that's EA's primary fucking online gaming experience for Star Wars right now. So, which is a little unfortunate, but we can talk about that more later.
Yeah, well, and that's actually a really good segue to go right into our weeks, unless you had anything else about Triple Force Friday. All right, so we're gonna hop right into our weeks. So, my number one bullet on my week is, I mentioned this last week after we listened to the soundtracks. I'm like, some of these pieces of music, like, just make me think of those interludes in Battlefront 1.
Right.
To the point where I'm like, I want to play Battlefront 1 again. And you know what? Over the last week, I have. I fired it up probably about 4 times over the last week. Never played it for more than an hour each time. But every time I played it, it was always there was always a blast game going. Where I know we've had points in time where we couldn't get into a blast game.
Yeah.
Lately, no issues whatsoever.
Huh.
Also, no like super cheaters either. Except maybe one time last night when I played. There was one guy who was like 34-1 kind of thing. I'm like, I don't think this guy's on the up and up.
One of those auto aim and joystick.
Yeah,
type fuckers.
yeah. But for the most part, it's been all like legitimate players. And up until that guy joined last night,
What the hell just happened?
that's fucking crazy. Our YouTube feed just went fucking the Matrix.
I saw that. That was
Okay, that was weird.
All
right. Anyway, so oh yeah, so the games have been really good. Like most of the teams have been really evenly matched. I've been having a fucking blast with it. I haven't had a whole lot of time to commit to it, but it's still just so fun. And I think it finally dawned on me why, at least for me, why I'm gravitated towards Battlefront 1 so much as opposed to Battlefront 2. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's only original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have nothing against the prequel era and the sequel era, but something about Battlefront 1 being strictly in the original trilogy with that John Williams music ripped straight from the soundtrack. And just that setting, and I think the perfectly balanced maps, it's perfect. It's perfect for me.
Yeah.
To the point where Battlefront 2 is just, it doesn't do it for me.
Well, listen, so I turned on Battlefront 2 just because I feel like there's been updates, and I feel like
they're putting effort into it. They
are putting
effort
effort into it, and I think I kind of have to cut the cord on BF1 to a point where it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, they're not going to maintain that game forever.
No.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but and I thought maybe I'm missing something in BF2. I went in, I played it for a little bit. It was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like I said, I probably played it for, like you were talking about, about an hour.
Yeah.
Like one day that I actually had an opportunity to do it. Excuse me. And it was it was okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. It was okay. I was playing one of the big maps, the Galactic Conquest, I think it is, or something like that. And a lot of people on the map and everything else, and running around, and getting used to controller layout took me like a little bit. But I'm disappointed with the graphics. Like even like some of the spawning into like some of you're getting into a jungle area.
Yeah.
In one of the planets, and the detail that would be in Battlefront 1, where you can go up and look and see intimate detail into this game, BF2 just lacks that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their excuse is. I mean, they'd already done it. So either they decided not to spend the money on the rendering to like have more map availability or make it available quicker, or they just decided, well, we're not just going to put that much effort into it. They're still good.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics is still good, but shit that annoys me, like in the, when you're selecting a character and you're standing there with his E4 blaster, or his E11 blaster rather, and I put a stock on it, and then the stock like goes through the arm, like graphically it shows it going through the arm. Like that's fucked up. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a static image, and you can't fucking render it properly. That's just that to me.
That's lazy.
It's lazy, and it just shows me that okay, the level of detail that you put into the previous game is that's my standard now. That's anything that falls short of that is going to be disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the music. On Battlefront 2 music, it's definitely there. So it's playable. I think we need to get.
And we just went Matrix again. I don't know why it's doing that. That's really weird.
We should start like talking funny or something while it's doing that way.
Well, see, the problem is the delay. So we'd be talking funny like a minute after it already finished on the YouTube.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Because we have no indication here.
Wouldn't that be hear it? Like, so if we see it, then it already okay, yeah.
What happens now is not happening now.
What happened to then?
It is then.
When?
Now.
When will then be now?
It is right now.
No, see, you're fucking it up, man.
Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Battlefront 1, still love it though. Still love hopping in, even if it's not for very long. Like I said, been like half hour to an hour in 4 different spurts. It's just enough to kind of whet that appetite and just be like, all right, that was satisfying, and then go.
And that's
about
what
my
I
day.
like about those games. Like, even there's a new Call of Duty out that I'm going to want, and I like those games because it is a 15-minute interlude into where I can just zone out, shoot at things, make things blow up, makes me happy, and I put it away and fucking go do something else.
Yeah,
and that's sometimes what I need. Anymore I find myself not doing that with Battlefront because Battlefront takes so fucking long to load.
That is true.
It takes so long to get into an online experience and in between online experiences that I don't have that time. Whereas in Call of Duty, you might have 30 seconds in between game modes, and this is playing, Modern Warfare, the reboot.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll still do that. I'll still find myself sitting. If I have the controller in my hand, I'm like, okay, I have an hour to do this, and I'll most likely it's like I only have an hour. Then I'm going to probably play Call of Duty.
Right.
But that's just not affecting the voices, just video. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why the hell it's doing that.
Yeah, it's maybe we said something at that particular moment that we're being censored for.
Oh, could be.
So
the YouTube moderators are like,
so,
fuck.
So I say everything that we're going to say for the next couple of seconds. Let's just say the word fuck. So it'll be fuck.
Fuck.
What the fuck? Fuck.
Motherfuck. Noise. All right. So moving on.
It didn't green out.
I
don't know what happened.
Well, again, delay. It might in a minute here. So I wrote in here, never sleep again. The old Nightmare on Elm Street thing. Because I mentioned this last week. My sleep has been shit. Hasn't gotten any better. In fact, I took an Ambien last night. Took me an hour and a half to fall asleep. After I fell asleep, I slept for 4 fucking hours, and then I was wide awake at 2 a.m. this morning.
Do you have an expectation to sleep more than 4 hours?
At least 6.
Really?
Yeah. But no, those days are fucking gone. I got 2 good nights of sleep over this 3-day weekend that I had, but otherwise it's been garbage. So now that the fucking Ambien doesn't even work anymore, it doesn't put me to sleep right away, and I only sleep for a few hours. I'm fucking done with that because there's no point in taking it at this point. So I guess I'm just screwed. No more sleep for me. Never sleep
Benadryl.
again. I guess. I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. You're
Honestly,
not the first person to tell me that.
Benadryl's
So.
probably better for you in the long run than Ambien is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just like
It's just the only thing you have to worry about with Benadryl is like if you have to take it and know that I'm gonna sleep for this long and wake up and have enough time to wake up because you'll be groggy.
be groggy in the morning. Yeah.
So it does have a little bit of a hangover, but
Yeah.
it's probably healthier for you than Ambien.
Yeah. So yeah,
This is the sleep hygiene portion of the All Things Star Wars podcast,
which we seem to have a lot lately on the show. So Isaac's in the chat. What's up, Isaac?
Isaac, were you the one? Palpatine knows what you're going to talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Isaac, were you the one that was talking about the Fallen Order game? How you're worried about the EA? It being an EA joint. Anyway.
Yeah. And my last thing
we were talking about you earlier.
Yeah, besides my shit sleep lately, I'm back to actually playing competitive Magic the Gathering tournaments. So the thing that got me into podcasting in the first place, Magic the Gathering, I'm kind of like dipping my feet back into. It's been fun. It's a money sink, so that's something that I have to try to be mindful of because it ain't cheap to be a Magic player on any kind of a competitive level. So, but I went to a pre-release tournament this last weekend with a friend of mine from work, and we had a blast. And yeah, so we'll see where that goes from here. But yeah, it's like one of those things. Since '94, I keep going back and forth. Sometimes I'll leave it for years at a time, but then they always pull me back in. So
it's surprising too. You think about it in '94. When it was in its infancy, and I didn't even heard of Magic the Gathering. Even as I did Dungeons and Dragons when I was probably in middle school, and when I was at CompuCom in
saw a notice, OBS Studio disconnected. Maybe that's why they're getting the fucking Matrix over there. Anyway, carry on. CompuCom.
Anyway, so at CompuCom there was levels of nerddom, right? So it was dependent on like where you worked as far as you had the config techs, which I was one of those guys, and we were like the relatively unnerdy nerds compared to the QA guys who were the fucking uber nerds who at the time like had T1, like we're talking about 97, 98. They had T1 lines going to their fucking house and fucking playing Quake and doing, setting up online servers and shit, like, playing these server games. And we're looking like we're a bunch of nerds working at this computer place, looking at these nerds, going like, "Look at these nerds!" Right?
Yeah.
So those nerds were also playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
so when I looked at that, I was like, "I am not doing that." So I never got into it. The kids did though.
Yeah.
Jeff especially, he played it. They played it in DMLA.
Yeah.
So it was fucking. Just because I don't do it doesn't make it not good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. Like, if you're going to have a Dave stamp of approval on things, then, I mean, that's going to always do you well. However, it doesn't mean it's not a good thing.
Yep. And that's really the end of my week. I spent the rest of my weekend sleeping and, like, catching up on housework and shit. So that was that. But it was nice to finally get days off because I didn't have any for, like, a month. So
I'll bet.
That's that. So what about you? What you been up to?
So, dude. We have this thing called, Jason's familiar with the term, it's called a helmet fire, right? Which basically, like, if you picture, like, there's a head inside the helmet, and that person just creates fires. So we had helmet fires all fucking week last week. I was basically running the shop, and it was just shenanigans. And that in and of itself is fine. I'd rather be busy than not busy.
Sure.
But it wore me the fuck out. So Friday, I banged out and played in a golf tournament with frequent guests of the podcast, the John, and Liam and one of the pilots. So we went, banged out for that, and it was a gorgeous fucking day on Friday. Really good. I needed to be outside for a minute. This 9 to 5 job thing, or 8 to 4:30 job thing, is
It's for the birds.
It sucks. It sucks, and I hate to even say it like that because everyone else is working real jobs and
Sure.
fucking being adults, and I shouldn't complain about it, but
We had some flexibility with our previous job where we
Yeah.
worked together, and we had opportunities to enjoy nice days.
Yep. And
Where neither of us have that flexibility anymore.
no, and I'm glad that I had those times, but it does it wears on you, especially with some of the stuff that I deal with physically. It just is like blew me out. So Saturday was kind of a lost day. We did a wine and paint thing. Follow me on Facebook, you would have saw that shit. Excuse me. And then Sunday, I ran an errand for my father, right? So my dad has gotten us some really cool stuff.
Yes.
Right? All the Empire Strikes Back card collection. He got at some auction.
The frame photos. Which
frame photos. There's one of them up there. Yep. Just he has these finds, and the way that he bids on these auctions, I think sometimes it's hit or miss.
Sure.
This particular time going up there, he tempted me with Star Wars toys. He's like, "Oh, hey, I need you to go up and pick up this lawnmower, and oh, by the way, some Star Wars toys in there you can have." I'm like, "Oh, cool, Star Wars toys."
Yeah, so that's how he got you.
So that's how he got me.
He threw out that bait and zzz.
So here's the toys.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Not. I'm
Not
gonna put
toys, but we got like this non-posable. He is kind of posable. Biker Scout on like his own little stand.
I think it's associated with some sort of game.
Oh, okay.
Like another board game. I'm going on record as to say that, like, not every, Dad, this one, not necessarily the best haul.
Oh my God. It's a fucking clone Transformer.
Yeah, which is missing its arms.
But it's a fucking, the clone transporter that turns into a fucking clone trooper. It's a goddamn Transformer. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very cool. I did that many times on the drive back because it was a 4-hour round trip.
Holy shit!
It was up in the mountains of New Jersey. Which
Why?
People don't realize that New Jersey is very diverse in its geology, and it has a very mountainous area up in as it gets into the Appalachians, and that's up where this was. So,
look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Be even cooler if it had all its parts.
Sure.
So yeah, I drove up there and picked the stuff up, and yeah, you got a
General
Grievous.
Kenobi.
Hello there. And it's a Grievous with a flaccid lightsaber.
Yeah. And only one, a lightsaber and a blaster.
Because I think the blaster was like, this one's like that minis, that 2004 Hasbro or whatever. Anyway, so those are Burger King toys. It says Burger King on the bottom of them.
Oh, there's like a little like.
Yeah, and there's a button to push on them. It's a R2-D2 Burger King toy. I don't know when it came out.
It looks like you're supposed to look into that little thing on the bottom, but I bet when you push the button, it lights up, and then you can actually see something.
Well, it might have lit up at some point,
or it might just be like a fucking flashlight. I don't know.
I mean, it does. It looks like a big black streak inside.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But either way, more Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars stuff for the plethora of Star Wars things that we have.
So thank you, Dave's dad.
So did that on Sunday, came back and proceeded to tear down a wardrobe in my daughter's room, paint said room, and also do the trim and the fucking ceiling.
Is it still your daughter's room?
Like not anymore.
Okay,
that's we moved all our stuff in there, and now that'll be the room until I get the other room finished. So it's progress. It's progress on the list of things that Dave has to do, but it beat the fuck out of me, man. By 9:00 last night, all I could do was just lay on the floor, and today just was very, very difficult to move around. So I'm paying the penalty of doing things. But that's unfortunately that's what I have to do. I have to take advantage of when I have the energy to do things and just do them.
Seems to be the life of Dave.
It is the life of Dave. Indeed.
You exert yourself one day over the weekend, and then you're paying for it for a few days.
There's ginseng in their hills. New Jersey, no, hills. Hills is more appropriate.
Yeah, mountains is that's a bit of an overstatement.
Well, it's contrast theory, right? So when you're in this part of South Jersey, like the tallest thing around here is actually in Runnymede, is the tallest Point in South Jersey is in Runnymede,
Right.
on Irish Hill there, where my in-laws used to live. And so that's nothing. It is literally nothing.
Mm.
But you can see it coming over the bridge. When you're coming over to Walt Whitman Bridge coming from Philly into Jersey, you are at the tallest point,
in this whole fucking area, in the
this whole
tri-state area.
You're seeing everything. You could, if it was clear enough and you were just high enough, you might see Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Although you have to get to about 1,000 feet for that. But anyway, it's once you get up past New York City, like past Newark, you start getting into these significant hills, and up by High Point and everything else. It's you're on the outer ridge of the Appalachian Mountain chain, which is the oldest chain of mountains in the world, from the formation of the earth. So that's why we don't have the Rockies, geologically speaking, is a relatively new mountain chain. That's why it has such pointed peaks and shit like that. Whereas the Appalachians are a much older mountain chain. That's why they're so subdued.
Yeah.
And we fly think about when you were flying out to AR-220, right? And you're flying over, through Harrisburg out towards Pittsburgh area, and you just got these rolling.
Yep. You see them forever. It seems like.
Yeah. And as you get up into the Vermont, Maine area, then it starts getting a little bit bigger. Up towards Canada, but that's why. So, hey, we pattern delayed long enough. We haven't even got to the topic.
Yeah,
Don
so
Solsky, ladies and gentlemen.
Solsky, the man of the hour, has finally joined us in the YouTube chat.
Yep.
So
anyway, that's it. That's all I had about the.
Okay, and for your week in general, that was it.
Yeah, that was it, man. And then I fucking showed up to work today and survived.
Yeah,
and here I am.
Well, I think we should take a quick break before we resume with our main topic.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Oh, God. Are you getting more ice?
I could if you want me to.
Yeah, get some more ice.
All right, I'll bring it out in a separate class.
Yeah, and wash your hands.
Don't tell me what to do. Not my fucking mom.
Oh, my God. Yeah, what an absolute fucking shit show. What's up, bitches? This is the portion of the podcast where I take a nap. Don, since you haven't been caught up, we're drinking this stuff. It's called Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, and it's to the Misfits, Black Sheep, and Screwballs. It's very tasty. It tastes like fucking peanut butter. It's really weird, and it's delicious, which is a little scary. So sipping with ice. Still need. Did you ever tell us what the shit you brought with the 100th episode? Do I still have the bottle somewhere? I think Jason might have threw it away. That wanker. I don't know. 3-1, guys. Imperial right guards. Yeah. So we definitely have some football stuff to talk about. I don't know if Jason's gonna remember. I think I made a bet with him last week about the 49ers. Hopefully he doesn't remember. I think I said something like the 49ers were going to fucking eat a dick. Jensen's 4-0. I think you might be reading that wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life, but I'm not live in 1 hour back. Should I just go live? I'm not live in 1 hour back. Rob, what? English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? I'm not live in 1 hour back. Should I just go live? Yes? I don't know what you're asking. So in an hour, we should be done with the topic. Probably less than an hour. No, probably an hour. I don't know. Then if you're just here for football, then yes. Then you come back in an hour and do it live. Does that answer your question? I don't know. What was I doing? Oh, I'm bringing up the fucking... I'll have the fantasy football shit up here.
Oh, yeah, I just forgot. Didn't we make some sort of a bet about the 49ers?
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, Kristen.
Because Kristen listens.
Yeah,
to
no, the podcast is live right now on our big TV, on our big 55-inch TV in my bedroom. Oh, and Kristen said, she wanted to help us out and give us a reminder of something, so she wrote a note for us.
Don't forget to rape all the Star Wars tits. Oh, rate. Don't forget to rate all the Star Wars tits.
Because apparently we said that
on the 55-inch.
Yeah.
I think that was your idea for a show topic, not mine. So I have plausible deniability.
You led me into that. There's more in there. You teed me up for that.
Of course I did. What do you think I'm here to do? So we're gonna have a little wee nip of this. I'm still waiting for my invite to co-host the Fantasy Football Podcast. That is entirely on the booth in the back joint.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Rob? Didn't even see him.
I think he came in late.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
That trade's working well for me, by the way.
Listen, I'm not live in 1 hour back. Should I just go live? Does that sound
Scott?
like... No, that's fucking Rob Gibson.
Oh, put that on. I'm still waiting for my invite.
No, this one. It's not English, is it? I mean, I don't understand that.
He had a lot of thoughts he had to get out on.
Yeah. You know what? That's when anybody else who does shit like that, they blame autocorrect. So you might as well go with it.
Yeah. Just getting set up here. Do you need to use the bathroom or anything?
No, I'm okay right now.
So yeah, Kristen's been listening the whole show.
You gotta do the show anticipating that, you know.
Well, see, I was, I had gotten so used to her never listening to the show ever that I just felt like I could say whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's
which I still can because
keep it up.
I'm my own man. I can do what I want.
Right.
Nobody tells me what to do.
Right. I'm just gonna lean this way for when the door comes flying open. Let's see. Let me go to Solo D's Nuts, which I was told I'm not allowed to. If I'm picking it up correctly, I'm not allowed to change my name this week.
So what was this bet about the 49ers?
I don't remember.
Neither do I, actually.
I thought we made some sort of bet. I can't. Somebody will have to.
Was it about Jimmy G?
Somebody will look at the sacred text or the sacred video file.
The archives, the Jedi archives,
and other sports.
Someone erased it from the archive memory.
Oh yeah, what? That was pathetic. So I'll never be able to make a shot again, right? So Kathy's getting in a car yesterday, and I had a water bottle, like a big smart water bottle, and she's getting in a car, just getting ready to get in, and I had the door open like this. So my recycling can is probably like back at the 49ers flag, and I was like this. I went, whoop, right? And just she getting in a car, drained it from like this. Hoping a prayer fucking gets in there. I'm like, dude, I should be the fucking. That's it. There should be YouTube videos posted just about me and my abilities. One time, lucky ass bitch. That's gonna come up Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, I also got in trouble for not offering her some of the fucking peanut butter fucking whiskey, which I had no idea she wanted. She's like, I can't believe you had that without me. I'm like, I didn't know you wanted it. You have to say these things. You have to speak words so I know what the hell's going on in that fucking brain of yours.
Jason, it's just... There's plenty of it left, Kristen, so if you want to come in and get some, you should do so.
Anyway. Woo! We good?
Yeah.
All right. Gotta get my notes back up. Reactor. All right. So...
Just looking at my...
Oh, what time does the night game start so I can really start gloating once Solski's last guy just takes a big dump? And
well, I mean, I think the kickoff at 8, so we got an hour.
And if everything goes to pass, I'll have the most points of the week too. So, but anyway,
that doesn't matter in this league.
We'll talk about it later. It matters to me,
and it should.
Really, that's all that matters. Okay, we good?
Uh-huh.
All right. Give me 30 seconds of silence. Oh, man. Not quite sitting well. Starting now. And we're back. So, what?
You're sitting there. I guess you're not digesting the peanut butter whiskey well.
Yeah, no, that last sip didn't sit very well with me.
Well,
So.
you probably gulped it for one, and for two, it's like I wonder what the. I mean, it's whiskey in general is like a lubricant to shitting. So you're gonna shit peanut butter tomorrow. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be sitting there, like, you're gonna be sitting in a stall at work, and somebody next to you going, "Who the hell's got peanut butter? What the fuck?"
Beautiful, beautiful. So, get into our main topic. As we mentioned at the top of the show, this is our next pick a topic from one of our top patrons, Don Solsky. Thank you so much, Don. And Don had the idea of talking about, in a sense, the life and times of Emperor Palpatine. Dave read his text message verbatim earlier in the show. But yeah, we're going to sit here, we're going to talk about Palpatine. No real flow to this, as we tend to not have. But
live!
yeah, we are going to do it live. But yeah, it's ultimately, I think this discussion is going to end up with The Rise of Skywalker, how it ties into Palpatine's return and everything else. So we have, I broke it down a couple of ways. I broke it down, like concurrent, like the similarities between, the similarities between canon and Legends material. Then we'll break it down, the differences that are in Legends and the differences that are in canon. If you have anything you want to throw out there,
Yep.
Other than that, then by all means, again, no real flow to this, so to speak. So obviously, Sheev Palpatine, which, by the way, his first name, Sheev, was only given to him recently, within the last couple of years, I think, in some form of Star Wars canon, because before, he never had a first name. Legends never mentioned a first name for him, and I think, all throughout the movies, Clone Wars, all that.
Yeah, it was like House Palpatine, and Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
That's all it ever was.
Yeah, so never had a first name for him until very recently in canon. And if anybody can correct me in the chat, like when that name was introduced, but it wasn't that long ago. So yeah, he obviously this hot young politician on the planet Naboo, and we know
I always think about that's so the tough
Robot
part,
Chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. I just hippies suck in every galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this entire thing where we're just focusing on Palpatine just makes me think of every single scene, because almost all the Robot Chicken stuff that has Palpatine in it is fucking gold.
Oh yeah,
It's fucking gold.
Oh yeah,
Him going up the fucking escalator like
Mhm.
Stormtrooper.
Mhm.
Stormtrooper. And like fucking John and I constantly do that shit. It's just like it's so easy. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Aw.
and it's Seth MacFarlane does that voice too, right?
I have
For
no
Palpatine,
idea.
I'm pretty sure it is. So, which makes it just that much better. But
Smell like burnt bacon.
now, obviously, we know at some point in his youth, Palpatine came under the influence of Darth Plagueis, which, by the way, I brought the book from the Sacred Jedi texts. If
And
you
then
could
proceeded
read
to
that.
stack a bunch of shit on top of it.
So yeah, I can't really show you much.
Oh!
I've had whiskey. So, but yeah, at some point in his youth, Palpatine comes across Darth Plagueis, putting him on the path of the Sith. Now, when that happens in canon versus Legends, we're not 100% sure yet. We know it happens in Legends because of the book.
Right. It happens in Legends. Plagueis is represented as a business person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I like this guy. And then he gets introduced to the Dark Forces.
And it was
Palpatine then kills his fucking father because,
Yeah.
like you do. And then, like, pledges his fucking loyalty to Darth Plagueis at that point.
And he was like a teenager, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
And
Look at that guy.
And we'll kind of get into the already the differences with Legends, because in this book they mention how Palpatine was from a house of nobles, right? Like the Palpatine house was a big prominent house on Naboo. So much like Dooku, right?
Right.
Dooku, same exact thing, came from a house of nobles. It's funny how people who come from those types of families end up going dark side.
All fucked up. It's all the incest and shit. Right? I mean, am I right?
Yeah.
That's why the Royals all have fucking. You know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. What?
Is that why Charles is so fucking ugly? And even his kids, like, they ain't that much better, but they both married hot chicks.
Yeah,
to,
marries
like-
a hot chick to try and fucking just dilute the fucking gene pool a little bit without the fucking stupid. Anyway,
I don't know how we got onto that, but
the Royals.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's been mentioned in canon yet as to whether or not he actually came from a house of nobles or where he came from, beyond the fact that when we first are introduced to him, he's, this hot young politician coming up through the ranks in Naboo.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. I think Palpatine is probably one of those primary characters that is so underexplored.
Yeah.
There's so much left for us to just infer about his background. Because basically we're cutting, even according to StarWars.com, it's basically telling the story from at some point where the Plagueis interaction happens as Sidious is describing it to Anakin. Like, that's kind of the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't really talk about that at all. It, like, fast forwards to basically him as a senator.
Yep. And
being a part of the inner circle of Padme. So it's what made the Darth Plagueis book so interesting, because it was telling a part of the story that hadn't been told. And then, fuck you, we wrote something good, kind of like the Obi-Wan book. Yeah. And we're just going to throw that away. Just fuck it, throw that away.
Well, and the interesting thing that I found about the Plagueis book was the fact that he was still Plagueis' apprentice up through the events of Episode 1. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until after he had been named Chancellor, I think, right around that time, when he fucking finally killed Plagueis and moved on. Like, even though he already had his own apprentice in Maul, this is when he fucking killed him, was during the events of Episode 1. So somewhere lurking in the background was always Darth Plagueis, at least in that movie.
Oh, man.
What are we laughing at?
I just happened to bring up the cantina in Facebook,
mm-hmm.
and Brady had posted something a few hours ago with Boba Fett, ladies' man. It's got the helmet on. Like,
I've seen that meme floating around all over.
And then helmet with his helmet off, he's like, how diddly doodly, neighbors?
Yeah, because he looks like a huge fucking just goof.
Yeah.
Without his helmet on. The original actor for Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's circa 1970, so that probably was cool. He probably had a giant afro, just like picking out his fucking afro.
White guy, by the way.
Yeah, white guy, fucking, who's, it's howdy doodly neighborinos?
Yeah. So.
Sorry, I can't do a Ned Flanders.
Yeah, and.
Yes, peanut butter whiskey.
And obviously, at some point, I mean, he probably fell to the dark side, or at least started going along the dark path before, slurring words already, before he got into politics, because that's probably, and we can go back all the way back to the Bane books and everything else, where we get into the Rule of Two, right? Mm-hmm. The Rule of Two, Bane goes into hiding as part of a master long-term plan. That's the theme that we're going to get into.
Yeah.
We're talking about Palpatine and the Sith. It's the long-term plan.
Can't spell the long game without Palpatine.
Exactly. So
everything that he's doing.
Yeah, and Palpatine's just the culmination of that fucking waiting that the Sith went into. They went into fucking hiding for fucking 1,000 years.
Now, allegedly. So here's the thing. Again, we're talking about Palpatine. We're talking about the Rule of Two.
Mm-hmm.
The Rule of Two is kind of a farce, right? It's all about like the presence of power at a snapshot, because you had, and all in the same time, you had Sidious with Dooku and Maul.
Yeah.
All in the same thread.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did Sidious have Dooku as an apprentice, but Sidious also had Maul.
Right.
So, and then that competition for who was the actual apprentice, even though they were fighting for something they didn't know they were fighting against each other.
Sure.
Type thing. So, excuse me. That the whole Rule of Two thing it's muddled based on the competition. It's like, okay,
right,
battle to the death, and then whoever wins, now you're the apprentice until somebody else goes to take over, or you take me over, then you have to go find an apprentice. So really, I mean, honestly, it's probably more close to the Rule of Three.
Right.
One to be the guy, and the other two people to fight over it to try and either be the apprentice or be the guy.
Yep. Or even if you think in the context of the Legends material, sometimes it's the Rule of One. Because Bane himself tried to fucking make himself immortal, because he's like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. She's not good enough to be my successor. I'm just going to figure out a way to be immortal. Same fucking thing with Plagueis. If you read the Plagueis book, his whole thing, it wasn't to fucking pass the torch to Palpatine. It was to figure out a way to be immortal.
So he could be the torch forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and with Palpatine himself, sticking to Legends material, same story. Because if you go to like the Dark Empire series, that was where, after the events of Return of the Jedi, like 3 or 5 years after, he had all these clone bodies of
Right.
himself stored away on some fucking remote planet, and he transferred his essence from his fucking dying body to one of the fucking clone bodies, and he would keep doing that over and over again. So exact same thing. So really, they claim that they're following this rule of two, but it's really the rule of two until I can figure out a way to fucking live forever, and
The
it'll
rule,
be the rule.
the
of
rule
one.
of two is like the Ten Commandments. It's like these are the rules, but
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's there. We're gonna follow when it seems like you have to have rules. And here's the rule of two.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna do it.
Right.
They're doing it live. The Sith are doing it live.
Exactly.
That's why they're so fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we get up to the point now where Palpatine is still the culmination of this 1,000-year plan, right? To stay in seclusion until the perfect fucking time when the Jedi have completely dropped their guard, and you can basically beat them through politics, almost. And a little bit more than that. But that's exactly what Palpatine did. He rose through the ranks, the political ranks, got himself the spot as Supreme Chancellor, and then this is where the fucking Master Manipulator comes into play. When, he was fucking manipulating probably since he was a fucking teenager, right? Because one thing that we know about him, even from the movies, is he has very strong Force visions. That ability to foresee the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's always had that, like, from our first introduction to him in Empire Strikes Back. He mentions, I've foreseen that, Luke could turn to the dark side and be a great asset. And it's even stronger in Return of the Jedi. So he's always had this foresight, and he's kind of used that along with his manipulative abilities and his ability to read people to fucking kind of shape the course of events.
Go ahead.
And, this is prominent in the prequels, where you can see him kind of using, like, influencing, he just, like, straight up manipulates Amidala to do that vote of no confidence, because he fucking knew, based on their plight, because he's the fucking one that called out to the Trade Federation and said, hey, blockade Naboo, fucking big political up thing.
Yep.
I'm the senator. No confidence. Oh, maybe I'll make a good chancellor, since, people are sympathetic to my plight.
Right.
And boom, next thing you know, he's the fucking chancellor. All right, now that I'm the chancellor, let's order this fucking clone army in secret. 10 years from now, these motherfuckers are going to be my path to glory. 10 years later, fucking start the fucking separatist movement. It's all part of his just grand plan, and he's such a fucking... very smart, by the way. Very smart manipulator. And he manipulated the whole course of the fucking prequel era, all the way up to and including the Rebellion era. Everything has transpired according to his design.
So, but let's... Even those lines, like he says, everything is going as I have foreseen it. Not everything is as he foresaw it, because even if you go to StarWars.com and you're actually looking at the Palpatine, basically, bio...
Mm-hmm.
There was an element of surprise with
when he's being thrown down a fucking hole.
Well, no, with Luke, when it talks about, hell, let me quote it verbatim because my cognitive ability isn't really there right now, but it basically, Sidious felt a disturbance in the Force as Luke Skywalker's Jedi powers developed. He knew the boy had destroyed his space station and foresaw that Luke could destroy him. But, so the disturbance in the Force was like Luke, like, showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Sidious reacted to all these things and then changed the plan accordingly. Like, he still had the long game going, but for him to, like, he's a egomaniacal fucking maniac. So
he's brilliant. I don't know what you're talking about.
Egomaniacal maniac is probably...
He's a brilliant politician.
Obviously. But I think the all-seeing part, it's like everybody else's Force vision, right? The one thing that, like, we shit on the Jedi so much because they fucking, they have rules that they don't fucking follow.
Right.
They're good for all these other people, and you got Yoda, the fucking judgmental fucking troll, is now, like, dictating things. But the one thing they do say is, like, the future's always in motion, so something that can happen to change that will ultimately change what the outcome is.
Sure.
And we see it time and time again. We see it in the Dooku book. We see it in Master and Commander.
Yeah.
We see it, like, different areas where there are Force visions, but those Force visions, once they are foreseen, the outcome can be changed.
Right. Always emotion is the future.
Exactly. So the troll said it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go on a limb and go on this complete anti fucking rebellion like kick. You know, not even.
Oh, the fucking terrorists.
Yeah, fuck those little dickbags. You know, the reality of like Luke. All the fucking Jedi that are still living at this point are fucking. They're living because they used their anger at some point. You know, they tapped into their dark side and fucking and did something with it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're still alive. And so the other Order 66 people that were like, I'm such a Jedi, and then turn around, don't realize the fucking clone troopers are like, haha, bitch.
Yeah, and then they're like,
Ka-chow! And then like the worst death.
Yeah,
ever.
so dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, what?
So
What's happening?
yeah, talking more about just Palpatine's manipulation. He started the grooming process with Anakin. Now, this is a stark difference in Plagueis versus current canon, because in Plagueis, I don't think they ever just straight up said Plagueis created Anakin, but we know for sure Palpatine didn't. Right, because Palpatine's like, I got to find out about this kid. You know, like Duke is telling him about fucking Anakin.
Yeah, there's a whole process where Sidious has to learn about the existence of Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
Whereas in canon, we know that he directly created fucking Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
You know, using some fucking Shmi eggs.
Yeah. With his force jizz right into her.
Doesn't seem like it would be as fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, if you could get off that way, like they'd all just be doing that. They'd be like,
right.
Ka-chow! Like, whoa! Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the Rainy Marsh me, and they're just like fucking. He's got just fucking force spooge everywhere.
I'd have like 500 kids all over the fucking universe.
Brow, 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 brow. Would you, Jason? Would you really?
Maybe, I don't know. Who's that fucking NFL player that's got like 18 kids or some shit?
Oh, the fuck if I know. All of them?
Yeah.
Just throw that up there. That's going to be my go-to for when Jason digging himself a hole. I'm just going to throw that picture up there.
Again, you were the instigator in that, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, all right, and then
Who's Biss? What if they bring Biss into Canon 9?
Biss is that's the planet where his clone bodies were being held in the Dark Empire series.
Let's wait till the end. Let's wait till the end, and we'll talk about.
Am I right, Isaac? Come on. You got to give me kudos if I'm right on that one. Anyway.
Don't have to do shit.
So, and then with the long term, once he finds out about Anakin in either universe, canon or Legends, he starts that manipulation process when he was just like a little kid, you know? We'll be watching your career with great interest. And then you see it again in fucking Attack of the Clones and everything else. He's slowly building that rapport with Anakin, being that kind of like father figure to him, so that when the time's right, you know, he'll fucking get him. Like, you know, I gotcha,
bitch.
Yeah. And I've mentioned this in the past, as we've talked about, especially Revenge of the Sith. I think Ian McDiarmid, Palpatine scenes in Revenge of the Sith fucking steal the show. The like 3 scenes that he has with Anakin, where they have the opera scene, where fucking
Why does it have to be like that?
Why
does it have to, like, what was fucking George on? Is like, I know what the space opera is going to sound like.
Honestly, I think Lucas is probably on some fucking ecstasy, maybe some fucking cocaine,
George
shrooms.
needed to get laid. That's the problem. He needed some sex points.
He had all that fucking Star Wars money. He could have gotten laid whenever he wanted. But anyway.
Apparently, Isaac is willing to give all the kudos to you.
Yes.
Despite my...
I'm so fucking smart, and I'm such a good fantasy football player. Like, what can I not do well? Yeah, that's really my question.
I'm going to go ahead and let you have this moment right now. And I'm not going to fucking torpedo your hopes and dreams.
I have a 3-0 football team, one of the last undefeated teams in the NFL. I mean, it's... You know, what am I not good at? But... Anyway, moving on.
You should definitely take all the credit for fucking a San Francisco football team.
I should, goddammit. But so the long-term grooming of Anakin, and like I was saying, the Revenge of the Sith scenes. All of his scenes in Revenge of the Sith, so fucking good. Especially my favorite one is probably when he reveals himself to Anakin. right? Where he starts telling Anakin, only through me can you, save Padme. And that's when Anakin fucking pulls out his lightsaber. That whole fucking exchange I thought was brilliant. Hayden Christensen notwithstanding, I think that whole fucking scene was that was like the pinnacle of the fucking prequels for me.
Honestly, though, Hayden Christensen's scene in there, like in that scene, that confused look on his face that he usually would have, that kind of like furrowed brow, just kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Look,
Yeah.
that was actually appropriate acting for the moment.
Yeah.
Now, it's a shame all the other bad acting, like that same, like, it's like it led all the way up to that moment where your dumb acting makes sense in this scene.
Yeah.
Anything before and after that, fucking garbage. Except for like being a smoking fucking corpse, almost corpse,
Yeah.
flying out of lava.
Yeah.
Like coming out of the fucking thing. I don't know. We're not getting anything out of the chat, so I don't even. Are we still on? Hello? Hello? Hello?
So
That's how Jason answers the phone. Hello?
I like it. It's clearly whoever's calling me is bothering me.
Hello?
So kind of veering off a little bit. Before we get into like Rebellion and then past that era, I want to dip into some more like Legend stuff. It was duly noted during like the Thrawn trilogy and then the Jedi Academy trilogy of books that Palpatine had a real disdain for females and non-humans.
Right.
He was the well, never mind. I won't relate it to
Racist masochist?
Yeah, I won't relate it to current politics, but he was they bring this up many times. However, the primary villain in both of them in the Thrawn trilogy was Thrawn, a non-human, and then in fucking the Jedi Academy trilogy was Admiral Dala, a female. So it was weird that they felt like they had to make the point that he doesn't normally like them, but these two are really good, so he made them in charge of his army. Well, then does he really not like them? Like, I don't understand. But I think this...
I just used the word masochist wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was meant to use another word, and I realized...
Misogynist?
Yes,
Is that what you were
and I
looking
said masochist, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right. I'm going through the dictionary in my head. I'm like, let me look that up real quick.
Right.
No, yeah, you're right. You were wrong.
So...
Oh, my God.
But yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I think they've mentioned it a couple times briefly in current canon, but they haven't leaned as much on that as they did in the Legends material. I don't know how significant that is.
Well, because they, like, in this day and age, nobody wants to be fucking a misogynist or a racist. It's like, oh, God forbid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some people suck.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, most of them do.
Yeah.
And you know what? The most evil person on the fucking planet, yeah, why not make that person homogenized to also be a racist and a fucking misogynist?
Yeah.
And into being a masochist.
Hey, he could be.
He could
You-
be. He
you
could
don't
very
know.
well be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
6 points for Palpatine.
yeah.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
So, anything else on the prequel era before we move on to later eras of Palpatine, the prequel or before?
Yeah, there's not really much to dwell on there. There's nothing in the Legends material where we could like grab hold of and say, okay, let's springboard off of this, because there really isn't much.
Yeah.
The Plagueis book gave us a lot of that, and we have it from his own mouth in canon, talking about Plagueis, but then that's it.
Right, and without the Plagueis book, we'd know almost fucking nothing about him, even in Legends.
In theory, we don't know anything because it not being canon. So let's just talk about the canon and going forward.
So, and then you mentioned it before that there were these big gaps in the storytelling with the Palpatine character, and going from the end of Revenge of the Sith all the way up to like your Rogue One era, not a whole lot of Palpatine.
Area of operations.
Even though there have been some like comics, there have been Rebels, all that stuff, still a big blank area in Palpatine's existence. We've got a lot of Vader stories. We've got a lot of other stories. Palpatine makes very sporadic appearances in those, but he's never the center of the story, and he's just off doing whatever the fuck it is that he does. Which, from when we get into like the contingency and all that, he's probably just doing more planning. He's probably doing more future planning in this whole fucking 20-year period in between where we know barely anything about what the fuck he's been up to.
So it seems to me like even getting to that point, so many things were set in motion. It's kind of like the Big Bang Theory, right? Where you have this explosion and all this energy is now coming out and he's reacting to it.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, does he get so fixated like let's throw this out there. Does he get so fixated on one course of events that he believes is going to come true? And I would imagine at some point, let's say he had 3 Koas, right? And then he decides Koa is course of action for the non-military people.
Yeah.
So he's got 3 Koas, right? And so this one course of action is going to take him this way, which ultimately could lead to something like the First Order.
Right.
And then there's this course of action that takes him to where he gets thrown into a fucking pit by his fucking apprentice.
Yep.
Some whiny teenager. And you got this course of action that is unexplained. It could be something completely different. It could be the Chiss ascendancy and the interactions with Thrawn and things like that.
Right.
But because he became so fixated with Vader and Vader's spawn and that particular path, because that's all we see.
Yes.
We're getting one version of this from the movies, yet we know that other things are going on. It makes me wonder that if you take Palpatine and say, okay, can you eliminate Palpatine completely from the future? Because he may have started something that just continues on and just never fostered it.
Right.
And he only reacted to this one particular course of action. Or was he fucking bebopping between all these things to make them all happen?
I think he was. I think he had to have been.
But at what point does he stop doing that to fucking just focus on what's going on with the Death Stars and all other bullshit?
Well, he's multitasking. So, I mean, no, legitimately, though, I think... Like he said in fucking Return of the Jedi, everything that has transpired is done so according to my design. So I honestly think, and we're really led to believe that he put a lot of effort into this contingency because it's wrapped into fucking Thrawn, it's wrapped into the Aftermath books, the Battlefront 2 video game, the fucking Shattered Empire comic books. So much of what happens in the new canon post Return of the Jedi is all wrapped into his fucking contingency plan. The fucking First Order is part of his contingency plan.
Right.
And I almost feel like that's his end game, and Anakin and Luke never was. That was one side path, but the bigger end game was this longer road.
And that's what I mean. I think that he set up these courses of action, and so I think it was more of a plan A, B, and C as it was just this is my plan.
Sure.
Because I have a feeling that he said, okay, I'm going to set this in motion. And again, given just what we've read, everything this pile and pile of knowledge that we have based on the canon, right? Mm-hmm. Strictly about the canon.
Yep. We
can say that these things that developed out of the the trilogy, the Aftermath trilogy.
Yeah.
Right? Where the admirals are getting together and shit like that. Mm-hmm. That's still kind of post Plan B. Or Plan A. Let's just say the Death Stars were Plan A.
Okay, and the contingency is Plan B.
Plan B with the fucking First Order. And however that's going to tie in, right? And maybe there was a Plan C even.
Yeah.
At some point, if you've got 3 plans, if you got a Plan A, B, and C, you're going to go on with the first plan.
Sure.
And you're going to fucking love that plan. You're going to hold it, and you're going to treasure it, and you're going to do all the things to make that plan good. Meanwhile, the things that you set up for Plan B are still going to happen whether you pay attention to it or not. So if you get thrown into a fucking pit of despair, then Plan B is still going because you fucking set that ball into space and it kept going. So
maybe his Plan A was Vader and Luke, but he got kind of tunnel visioned.
Yeah.
Thankfully he had put Plan B into motion, but
I think his plan. Let's just say let's talk about Palpatine's Plan A, right? Plan A is to fucking conquer the galaxy.
Yep.
Right?
Check.
And yeah, boom. But to start conquering the galaxy, what do I need to do? It's okay, this is what I need to do politically, this is what I need to do to create a clone army, this is all this shit I need to do. Cool. Boom, get into that. All right, now I'm gonna have a fucking America's Got Talent for fucking my apprentices, and I got Maul here, and he's gonna do a fucking song and dance. I got Dooku over here.
You do that American Idol fucking theme right now.
So that shit's happening, and his Plan B was okay. If Plan A, I'm building a Death Star, and assuming it doesn't get destroyed by a bunch of whiny teenagers, because I don't think he ever planned for that contingency. I don't think he was like, oh, this one's going to blow up. And then we've already established, based on, if you listen to our Death Star episode, we already established that in canon, that Death Star was started after the first one was destroyed.
Allegedly.
That's what's established in canon. So I don't believe it either, but let's just take it for what it is. So he's like, okay, plan A is I'm going to build this fucking Death Star, rule the galaxy with that. I'm going to pick an apprentice, and well, yeah, maybe I make an apprentice. No, nobody is out there. I killed all the fucking Jedi, so what am I going to have? I'm going to be hanging out on Tatooine, going through the boneyard, and fucking like.
And what the fuck was he doing on Palpatine or on fucking Tatooine? God damn it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he probably a little bit of himself, just like. And woo! Maybe he literally force blasted. Maybe it was like he's like thinking, "Oh, Shmi, oh God!" Fucking blast right into her. Fucking like threw her skin into her ovaries. Like blah. She wakes up and is like, "Ugh, God, I need a shower." Oh, that's awful.
I don't even know what to say to that. My God, we went from right here to about right here. So
look. So what is? I must confess I have not read the Aftermath. Morning of Lost Legends. Yeah, it's the legend stuff. It's tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my whole point is, I think that he kicked off. He had Plan B, right? And I think Plan B was the First Order.
Okay.
I think that was whatever he did to get that set in motion. I don't think he started Plan B after, on the way to the end.
No.
I think he thought that this is Plan A and this is going to fucking work. I foresaw it working and all this other shit. Realized at the end of the day, what he saw was his own destruction.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Plan B was still fucking going. Because
Right.
he set all that shit in motion.
Well, and he had to put a lot of effort into that because Thrawn came into play because the whole mapping of the fucking unknown regions and, the whole setting up, all right, if I fucking die, these fucking robots that have my face are going to tell these people, destroy this planet, go fuck this planet, Naboo, they can get fucked, and, go do all this stuff. And then what fuckers are left, you guys go to this one spot and you go recreate the First Order.
I mean, and like, again, this is just all... It's all speculation and hearsay.
To a degree. I mean, we have a lot of these pieces of the puzzle already.
We just don't know how the pieces interact.
Right.
And the caveat to all this is that we're not going to get closure from episode 9 on this particular thing. I would be shocked if we even got a little fucking snippet of this.
Not to the intricate details that we're looking for.
Right.
I think we'll get a general idea for what his final plan was. And that's going to involve whatever interaction we have with him in episode 9. It's his grander plan, I think, is going to be revealed. I think it's the intricate details of like how he decided to create the First Order and all that stuff. I think that's stuff that'll be explained in later books.
Well, so let's talk about that. We're talking about kind of the life and history. We've all seen the movies, so we know the shit that's on the screen. So let's extrapolate that into some of these timelines.
Okay.
So if you're Palpatine and you're setting up the First Order and everything else, like when does that start in your mind? When do you think that when Palpatine is creating a clone army and everything else, like is he thinking about the First Order then?
No,
like I'm thinking, or is that something that happened after the destruction of the first Death Star? Realize I have to have a plan B, so let me go at it this way.
No, I think it happens before that because that's when he has his interactions with Thrawn. Is several years before the first Death Star is even done being built.
Yeah, but he could have wanted to map the outer regions just for fucking taking it over.
I feel
or he
like
could have wanted it done because hey, I'm going to use this fucking punk. I'm going to tell him, hey, guess what? That Chiss thing, they're in danger from other shit. You should go map that out, and then we'll help you. We'll help the fucking Chiss ascendancy, and convinces Thrawn that that's the way to go. That's in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes and does this shit for Palpatine, thinking that he's going to help the Chiss. Because let's face it, Thrawn at his essence is kind of a fucking noob, right? He's very, very smart and he's very like methodical in things and he's very good at putting shit together. But if somebody's manipulating you, you could be really, really smart and still walk into a fucking trap, even though you know to what to look for where the trap is. Sometimes you're so buried in it that you don't understand that you're already in the trap.
Yeah,
and I think that's what happens with Thrawn.
Well,
he's being manipulated by the Emperor.
And if that being the case, I still think that the seeds of the First Order, the contingency,
were left
planted
on Shmi's chest.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! For fuck's sake. Anyway, I think those plans were laid somewhere between the two trilogies, somewhere between the prequels and the original trilogy.
More
Somewhere in there
images.
is when he probably started having some fucking Force visions like, all right, if my plan A doesn't pan out, I got to have a plan B. Like, I think that's part of his grander Force visions, his fucking ability to see the future. He might have seen in one of these alternate realities, like, hey, my fucking apprentice might have, like, told me to get fucked and threw me down a fucking well. So I better have a plan B just in case. Now, how do you think all this ties into Palpatine coming back in Rise of Skywalker? Because that's really what we're building towards.
Right.
Right? Is it going to be, are they going to reach back into Legends and are they going to go the clone body route? How does this tie into fucking Rey? I've seen a lot of theories about that kind of thing. And, like, not even thinking about other people's online theories. What's Dave Martin's theory?
So, when I was reading from the StarWars.com kind of bio for Sidious,
Mhm.
and they brought up the stuff in Rebels about how Sidious was trying to get into the that reality where it was kind of in between worlds.
Yeah, like the time traveling.
Yeah, so
realities.
and Ezra managed to get in there, so he was trying to, like, somehow Palpatine knew that Ezra was the guy, like, that could get in there,
Yeah.
either through Force Vision or whatever, because Palpatine couldn't do it on his own.
Yep.
For whatever reason. And so Ezra gets in there, and now Palpatine, through the dark arts, quote unquote, from the StarWars.com shit, is now trying to manipulate both Ezra and ultimately Ahsoka Tits to
You could have just said Ahsoka and left it with that.
it just came out that way. So, you know, I think based on what is going on in Rebels, that's kind of it gives you an idea of how this is going to go. I don't think you're going to physically see. There's not going to be a Palpatine reincarnated.
Okay, so
I
you
think
think it's
you're
going to be
gonna see
more of a vision?
I think you're going to
Force
see the
Ghost?
essence of Palpatine,
Okay.
either interacting like somehow through the Force, or
like a Sith version of a Force Ghost.
yeah,
basically.
and he's still going to be like manipulating things and trying to do things as much as possible through the dark side and through the dark arts, as they call it on the StarWars.com. But I think that's how you're going to see it. A physical manifestation of Palpatine. It says right here at the end, and I kind of lead it to this in the beginning, like, at long last, the Emperor was dead, taking a nightmarish era of tyranny with him. So StarWars.com says, boom, the Emperor is dead. Cool. But we know they're going to bring him back in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Because they talk about, like, in that same ilk, like in this description where it talks about Maul, right? You have all the stuff that I just remembered the other thing I'm supposed to remind you about later. It just popped in. Sorry, what? Maul is captured by Palpatine after, like, Maul shows back up alive.
Right.
So Palpatine captures him, and then fucking it's Maul and his brother, and fucking he kills the brother, and fucking tortures Maul, whatever.
Spoiler alert, shit.
I think this is Clone Wars stuff that we haven't gotten to.
Which, right, exactly. Spoiler alert.
Well, if you read the biography, it's right fucking there. So
Do I look like I'm reading that goddamn biography?
you're not going to watch Clone Wars either.
Yeah, bullshit. I will
Lies.
someday.
Lies. So they're in a pile on my desk at work right now, thanks to Big Swede.
Mm.
And I got through maybe 8 episodes of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can do it, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, you're asking about Palpatine and how we're going to see him. I think in episode 9 we're going to see Palpatine manipulating as much as he can as a part of the Force, as part of the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Because how are you going to? This is about an epic battle of good and evil, right? And we have a representative of evil in Palpatine, and you also have Kylo Ren. You're going to have Kylo Ren's band of misfits. There's an interesting quote from J.J. Abrams about Kylo Ren and his mask and how he reassembles his mask and things like that, like what the mask represents as far as, like, him putting that on to be able to hide, behind it, like you do with masks. But I just don't think that a physical manifestation of Palpatine is necessary. We have Force ghosts within the Skywalker saga.
Sure.
And those Force ghosts influence. Ben Kenobi in the cockpit of the X-Wing influences Luke to fucking take the shot. And
So-
there's been is it raining?
Maybe.
There's a lot of spiders out there. We have Obi-Wan influencing Luke, potentially even guiding the fucking torpedoes, depending on which fucking version that you're
That could be a topic for another day.
But that's so you have Kenobi influencing Luke through the Force as a Force ghost entity.
Yeah.
So who's to say that Palpatine can't come back in within the same form? I think it'd just be bad bad movieing, but it would not be good to okay, let's put him in another body and have him fucking walk out. And then what? Then what are you going to fucking do with him?
Well, then
Is he going to pass his essence to another fucking body?
Well, so I agree with what Bronco Fett said in the chat, where I think it's going to be Palpatine coming back in some sort of physical manifestation with his own forces, taking on Kylo Ren and the First Order, being like, all right, your First Order did your job, but I'm back, I'm taking fucking over. Well, Kylo Ren's like, no, this is my fucking shit now. Piss off, old man.
Well, and I like that idea because I know that one of the theories that I had talked about before was the fact that Kylo Ren's going to try and be Palpatine's right hand. Like, I'm trying to be Palpatine's boy.
Yeah.
But as more shit comes out and you have more time to think about it, I don't think that Palpatine's going to come back as some sort of physical thing. Okay. I think that Palpatine's going to try and influence Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I think he's going to try and influence him by directing his actions at that point. He's going to be a heavy influence on Kylo Ren.
All I'll say is just remember that there are so much of this movie.
That's not a real thing.
There's so much of this movie that's being kept under wraps. And we saw it with The Force Awakens. We even saw it with The Last Jedi. But more with The Force Awakens, them withholding so much pertinent information until we were actually sitting in that fucking movie theater watching it. We had no idea that Rey was going to be the fucking Jedi. We might have been able to guess. But we had no idea that Rey was going to be the one with the Force powers. Right. They fucking specifically did, promo shots with fucking John Boyega holding the lightsaber, right? Trust me, I feel like this whole Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, all of this bullshit that we're being fed, it's all fucking smoke and mirrors. And I think this grander plot line with Palpatine is going to be the more prominent story. And a lot of this shit that we're seeing, like I'm telling you, these fucking trailers that we're seeing, besides maybe a couple of scenes, this might be the first half hour of the fucking movie.
See, why I don't think that's going to be the case is because Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is going to be like a thing. We know the Knights of Ren are going to come back in some form or fashion, right? We're going to see them. Right. It's not going to be a fucking flashback. It's going to be like, hey, they're fucking blowing up.
Yeah.
Like we were literally in here the whole time you have been.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're fucking what?
No, go ahead.
You're going to have it could be anything. It could be I lost my fucking train of thought. God damn it. I was thinking about the Anchorman thing with the fucking news team assemble.
Oh, and like all the different armies fighting or whatever.
But why would you make a movie where you have the Resistance building up to a point where it's like, okay, here's everything that's happened to Resistance.
Oh, fuck the Resistance. I don't give a shit about them.
Fair. But you have this part of the story building, and then you're going to have the Kylo Ren story, and then you're going to have these two people fight each other. What are these fucking clowns going to be doing?
Well, my theory is it's going to be ultimately Rey and Kylo Ren teaming up to take on this fucking whatever manifestation of the Emperor that comes about. They're going to fight in the beginning. Fucking Palpatine's going to come back. Kylo Ren's going to be like, fuck, I can't beat this asshole on my own. Rey, one more time, you want to come help me out?
So, fair enough. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think,
and this is all speculation.
Obviously. My thinking is it could very well be. We could have, like Donna mentioned, Stormtroopers versus First Order.
Yeah.
I get that because you have Sith jet troopers.
Right.
And we're extrapolating this from fucking toys, but it's proven to work in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We have First Order jet trooper and you have a Sith jet trooper.
Right. So what's the difference, Are
they fighting each other? Whatever. Does the Resistance sit back while they annihilate each other so that they can go back and fucking, save the world?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. From a movie making perspective, I just don't, unless you're going to sit there for fucking 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to. I just don't know that it will go that way in the movie. We're going to have our probably best stepping point to see what's going to happen with that is going to be in that Resistance Reborn.
Yeah.
We're going to understand. I'm going way out on a limb, But I think that we're going to better understand where the Resistance is coming from going into Episode 9 because of that from that book. Not that Aftermath helped us out a whole lot going into the fucking Last Jedi, but I think the Resistance is reborn. There's some fucking holes to fill. They finished the Last Jedi basically decimated.
Yeah.
And so now they got to fucking pick everything back up. And now how are they going to do that? In Episode 9, they're not going to spend a lot of time fucking piecing that together. It's fucking,
like explaining to us how they got their fucking fleet back.
They were against fucking hailing call went out, and then all of a sudden people got together. They fucking all met at one point. Then there's happy music playing and fucking right. Meanwhile, fucking Ren's doing whatever it is that he's doing. Yeah. He's trying to be a supreme leader when really he's just a whiny bitch. Because like, I killed my dad, and I tried to kill my mom, and I didn't do it because I'm a bunch of pussies.
Right, which is why nobody buys him as the main villain of this trilogy. Like nobody buys it. Like
just like fucking the redheaded twit. Like he's not the fucking main villain. What the hell is General
Hux?
Yeah, General Hux.
Nobody ever bought him as the main villain.
Yeah,
but
Snoke is not coming back with the mechanical legs.
Ugh, no, please, God, no.
Unless he comes back like Grievous.
Yeah, Snoke needs to just stay dead and, like, never come back.
I am curious as what Snoke is.
Like, what his origin is, and how he fits into the contingency and what his relationship to Palpatine is. Mm-hmm. That's another hole that we need filled at some point. But...
That's what she said?
Yes, it is. But anything else before we close this up?
I did not read the rest of the Podameron comics, Bronco.
Sorry, bro.
I only had a couple. Dude, not enough hours in the day, brother. Not for us, anyway.
Yeah.
No, the only other thing, so we may have talked about this before, but I'm bringing it up just because it popped into my head. Did we go through the potential of maybe Snoke was a fucking failed Palpatine clone?
No.
That just kind of popped in my head.
Huh.
Like, I had this vision of, like, bitch Stewie. From Family Guy. Like, something's just a little bit off from him, and, like, meanwhile, Snoke's like...
Or even the first season of South Park, where they made the clone of Stan,
Yeah.
Me bad!
Could it be? Like, it's like, all right, I'm going to make a clone. I'm going to send him off doing this thing. Ugh, God, he's kind of awful. It just go out there. Go ahead. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, don't interact with me ever again. Just fucking go away.
Yeah.
And if I die, then I guess come back. I don't know.
Maybe later. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure, fine.
That's great. I love that theory. I hope that's what happens.
That would be fucking badass.
Yeah, I know we probably didn't cover every single point that Don would have liked us to cover, but I think we were pretty thorough in our analysis for the most part.
Yeah, honestly, because we know that's the one thing about Palpatine is there's not a whole lot inside that we don't get right out of the movies. I mean, Palpatine, everything that Palpatine is the manipulator and everything else, is right there in the movies. Mm. There's no, and you get a little bit in Rebels, you get a little bit in Clone Wars, but there's not like some huge backstory that they put out there that we haven't gotten to.
Right.
It just isn't there. The Plagueis. There's no canon Darth Plagueis book to tell us how those two interacted and did their thing.
Yeah, and something tells me though after Episode 9 they'll probably go back.
There probably will be. I mean, it's a cash cow.
Yeah.
From books or comics or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah. Because quite frankly, in my opinion, he's probably the best character in Star Wars canon. Honestly, I love the character of Palpatine, the master manipulator. The fucking just how he's like had this like 50-year fucking plan up to this point. Like I love that about him. And like I said, the scenes that he has in especially Revenge of the Sith, just fucking perfect.
Really, it's what has to impress you if you're following along in the play-by-play. It's what he does in the original trilogy doesn't even seem like that much, but when you throw the prequels into it, and how badly he pulled the wool over the fucking Jedi's eyes, that's what makes it so impressive.
Yeah.
It's how he could be doing all of these things and manipulating all this without them knowing that there was a dark force entity.
Yeah, sitting right in front of them, basically.
Literally sitting in the same room with them. They're briefing this guy.
Yeah.
That's like going in and fucking like briefing. Like, oh, we're gonna be in Iraq. We're gonna brief this. His name is not Saddam Hussein. And he's got like a fucking, he shaved his mustache. Like,
Yeah.
well, that can't be Saddam Hussein because he doesn't have a mustache.
Right, clearly.
But he's clearly Saddam Hussein. You know,
Right.
It'd have to be that ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what they're fucking doing. Like, the enemy is right there in front of you, and you don't know it.
Mm.
And that's how bad you are.
Yeah.
You're bad. You're bad at being good guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're making the good guys look dumb.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Yeah, this is why everybody loves the bad guys. So that's all for this week.
Chicks think the bad guys.
Thanks again, Don. Thanks again to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are the reason we do this, and more Pick a Topics coming after this.
Absolutely.
Are we doing a football
Yes,
episode
we
after
are.
this? All right, so we'll do our quick football recap after this episode. So those of you watching on the YouTube, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Yes. And I will piggyback on the Patreon supportage. Thank you to Nick Jackson, our newest supporter.
Yep.
And all of you that have supported us. Thank you. Thank you for letting us keep the lights on. And check out the Podbelly Network.
Yes.
We're members of the Podbelly Network.
Mm-hmm.
Go to podbelly.com.
Mm-hmm.
Pimp us out however you can.
Yeah.
If you're in the cantina, make sure you're watching the booth in the back. Our boys Don and Brady are are doing it live.
Yeah,
every week. Every week it gets a little bit better. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and they've got a pretty big following in the Facebook Live there.
So keep that up, boys. And I'm proud to say that you are underneath the ATSW umbrella. And follow us on all the social media stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes.
Push us into YouTube. Really, I made that comment earlier this year. Like, I think it was back in January. It's like, I want us to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
We're at like 330 or something.
We're in the
mid
300s.
Like. So, I mean, the YouTube isn't our jam. Like, we do it. It's fun. I mean, honestly, we do it for the chat. Let's face it.
Right.
We're doing it for the chat.
Yeah.
But subscribe to us on YouTube because there's a lot of bullshitting that you're missing. Like the signs that I'm holding up that directly pertain to Jason's life and the life he's going to have to lead when we stop podcasting. And that's the kind of shit that you're going to pick up on YouTube. You don't have to be a Patreon supporter; you just have to subscribe. So go in there and subscribe. Actually, you probably don't even have to subscribe, but you should.
We would appreciate it if you
should like our videos.
Yes,
all of them.
Yes.
Episode 120. We've done 120 of these things.
That's crazy.
120.
I never would have imagined, but here we are, and still going strong. So
doing it live since 2017.
Indeed. So all right, well, thanks everybody again for joining us, and we'll be back next week with something I don't fucking know yet. But until we do, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I click?
YouTube is still live, but I'm gonna.
You're live. I gotta pee. Now I gotta pee.
Me
My
too.
legs are stuck. Oh God, everything hurts.
20. Raw. Doing it raw.
Raw dog.
Okay. And then. All right. So yeah, we'll be back in like 5 minutes on the YouTube to do our sports portion, and then we'll call it good. So until then, thank you everybody. Thanks again, Don. Appreciate the topic. It was fun, and see you on the other side.